interesting about the cosmic towers is, and we were just talking about this before the call, is, I've the last 4 or 5 years, but especially like the last year and a half, I've been intensely working with subtle energy. I've been studying different systems. I've been learning how to dowse, and my intuition has developed quite a bit more, and I'm really pleased with it. And I thought that I had pretty much done everything I could do in my house. I have a grid of georesonators set up, which essentially you can think of them as kind of like a modern adaptation of crystal gridding. And I have biogeometry set up throughout the entire house, not the cube, but I have the stickers and the L90s and the L66s for EMF harmonization. And I use a system it's really from the 1980s, called the pulsar system, which is a fascinating one. And it's kind of an underground one that has a cult following here in Southern California, at least. And so I have that set up as well, and already was using structured water and had that set up. But man, I'll tell you what, as soon as we unboxed the cosmic towers, it was instant. I mean, it felt like, so I had an energy sensitive friend there, specifically who I invited for the unboxing, because she's extremely energy sensitive, and she grew up in the mountains, actually not far from where you are, outside of Carson City. And as we sat on the couch and we first unboxed them and set them up at heart levels, and just sat there and let the experience wash over us. For her, she experienced the same feeling she experiences high in the mountains, bare skin, sitting on granite, with just earth energy flowing, like that vital earth energy feeling. And we both had a feeling of exhilaration, energy, excitement thrumming through us, while at the same time being perfectly calm, grounded, and centered. And that is not a feeling that is easily accessible in our society. And it's typically one that you only experience in nature. And I think that's why for her, she equated it to essentially sitting on a mountaintop, grounded, because the mountain peaks concentrate energy and it flows up and out of them. But she's also grounded with the Schumann resonance, sitting on a granite rock. And we both went through an initial detox experience. Her more than me. I've done a lot of energetic detoxing, but still I experienced it was almost, in a way, a little bit psychedelic at first. Like it had that initial kind of feeling. And for her, she could see the toroidal vortexes a little bit, and her vision shifted. So she started to see fractal patterns on the checkerboard pattern on the plaid of these like plaid pajama pants that I had on. And she could see the plaid. It looked like a shifting fractal to her, and she kind of went through this subtle energy detox. And we both had the sense that the towers were excited to be there. They were happy to help. And for the next few days, we both got the sense they were doing a lot of work, cleaning. It was, we both had the sense that, man, these they're working a lot. And the dreams were very vivid. Very vivid. I typically don't remember my dreams, and I had very vivid dreams. And one thing you'll find really interesting. So, San Diego is a city of 3 million people, And in popular American culture, people think of San Diego as a laid back beach environment, and it is not. The pace of growth here has far outstripped the ability of the city to contain it. And for the most part, you're surrounded by minds who are kind of agitated. They're stressed out. They're really stressed out with inflation and traffic and all the things, and you kind of feel it. And also, this is one of the highest EMF environments you can be in besides Manhattan in New York City. This is a 5G city. The airport is in the middle of the city, so there's powerful airport radar. There's military installations all over the city, also with radar. There's a lot of aerospace here, also with their own sonar and radar and all kinds of crazy stuff. And so it's a lot. And immediately we both felt the towers go to work on that. And start cleaning the field in their area. And the funny thing was we walked outside after we'd been in the house for a long time, and we went outside to the street, and it didn't smell very good. Like, it just seemed like the energy seemed kind of stagnant and weird. And we were both like, wow, these towers have created this bubble, this like beautiful energetic cocoon in this really dense urban area that I live in. And we went outside, and you could feel the shift. It was really interesting. Wow. So we both had the sense that they start to work in the immediate area, and then it slowly kind of expands out as they clean. Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. And I also love your friend's analogy of sitting on a mountaintop, because a lot of times people ask questions, does it neutralize 5G? Does it do this? Does it do that? But my biggest explanation is it brings a harmonious natural field into your own home. And it's not so much focused on canceling this, resisting that, right? It's really focused like, hey, when we create a natural harmonic toroidal field, our bodies already know what to do.
Yes.
Everything takes place. But the beauty of it is, if, like you say, you're in San Diego, you can't escape it.
You cannot. It is just, and I was just reviewing my notes here a little bit while you were talking, but you cannot. And I had the perfect introduction to the cosmic towers because several times a year I go back to where I'm from in the state of Minnesota, and my family still has 70 acres there of wooded land. And while I'm there for weeks at a time, I'm greeting the sunrise and staring at the sun a little bit and grounding, and I'm barefoot outside and I'm in nature, and I'm trees are antennas for the Schumann resonance, and so they resonate their own toroid that you stand in when you're next to them. And so I have that experience, and I come back to San Diego very grounded and centered, and my nervous system is very calm. And when I first got back here, it was before the towers arrived, and I was like, oh my God, the energy here is a little bit like someone's throwing ice water on my face. I was just like, geez, this place is wild. And as we got the towers and unboxed them and greeted them and set them up, and they had this beneficent consciousness about them, which the only other time I've experienced that has been in nature. And specifically when I've been dowsing in nature and looking for power spots and finding them and standing in them, it feels like that. So maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the cosmic tower is sort of almost like a portable natural earth energy power spot.
You're exactly right. And that's what Harald, the inventor, would call it to me. It's like having your own portable power spot. You don't no longer have to travel for an hour or whatever to experience that. We're just bringing it into our own home, so you always have access to your own power spot.
It's quite remarkable because I've used a lot of subtle energy systems and technologies, and some of them are sort of like broadcast. So they have a very specific field and they broadcast that, and that kind of tries to overpower the disharmonious energy that is around. So that's one approach. There are different harmonizers around, but they also have their own qualities. Some of the water structuring devices I've used, there's one in particular that is so strong that energy sensitives don't like it as much because it just overwhelms the water. Where the cosmic towers, they feel very beneficent and not like they're broadcasting something trying to overpower, but they're harmonizing and cleaning.